Hello and welcome back to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive deep minute by minute into the cinematic adaptation of Frank Herbert's world of Dune. I'm one of your hosts, Zach.
And I'm John.
And we are back on this Monday episode. I hope everyone had a good weekend, or if you just rolled right in from last week, welcome back. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's hot as fuck outside.
Oh my God.
It's like 11 a.m. and it's already like 95 degrees. So.
Yeah, it's that just ass part of summer. Well, it's not even like the hottest part of summer. Honestly, that is to come.
Yeah.
For Georgia. So yeah, this is purely stay indoors time.
This is prep for August.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, if I have to go outside to get my walk in or whatever, it's like at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because fuck being out any time during the day.
Nah, see, I just got one of those treadmills that goes under my desk, and then I don't have to worry about it being a million fucking degrees outside.
True. I like to leave my home.
Okay, yeah, you got me there.
All right, cool. Well, we are back. We are here to talk about minute 90 through 91. We left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger last week. And
I would say a lot of bit of a cliffhanger.
That's very true.
Gurney Ballick.
Gurney Ballick is
Gurney
back.
Ballick. Gurney Ballick.
Hank Ferbert.
Yeah, Gurney Halleck is on his back, and there's a knife held to his throat, and we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, dude. Except we do, because we've already watched the movie, and if you're listening to this podcast,
we have a sneaking suspicion what's going to happen.
That's a pretty twinkish face looking at him. I don't know who it could be.
Yes, so this minute picks up where the staring continues. So Gurney Halleck was on his back. Paul is just parkoured himself onto Gurney. And you get to see, Paul's got his full face mask and coverings on.
He's got the turban, and he's got the full still suit mask, not just the nose pipe.
Yeah.
So all we can see are his eyes.
Yep. And I don't know about you, but I could definitely see the excitement and recognition in his eyes, like right as the minute started.
With Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could see, and I think we talked about it a little bit at the end of the week last week, but like in the very last few frames, you can see Gurney's confusion, because it's almost like he recognizes the eyes, but he's not certain.
Yeah. Last time he saw Paul, they were not blue within blue like they are now.
No.
And he thinks he's dead. So that's another thing.
Yeah. So. He's seeing a ghost.
Yep. And I love this line, man. He hits him with the "I recognize your footsteps, old man" line.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful, beautiful, like, connecting of the dots from the first movie to the second movie. And it's just the perfect thing to say.
Yeah. And it's something that only Gurney would know, that it is Paul for real, too.
Yep. Now, do you think he could hear him? Do you think Gurney could hear Paul say this?
What do you mean?
So Gurney's got his own like helmet and desert suit on, his janky
his scratched up fishbowl.
Yeah. His piecemeal still suit.
Yeah.
Paul is kind of whispering this. He's not saying it out loud, and he's talking into a face mask.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Gurney actually heard him say this.
Probably, maybe. I don't know. Fuck.
I don't know.
There's a lot of layers to go through. Shit.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know if they have external mics on Gurney's. I would have to assume they would, because he needs to be able to hear his surroundings.
I don't know. I would assume they wouldn't, because he's got a janky ass still suit that he scrapped together from a Sardaukar helmet and some other shit.
Yeah. So further evidence to this is that Gurney's expression doesn't really change.
Yeah.
Until Paul pulls his mask down.
Yeah.
So that's when he realized this. So I don't think he heard the "I recognize your footsteps, old man." I think that was just for Paul.
Maybe it was just for us.
Maybe it was just for us. Yeah. Oh yeah, us and Paul.
Yeah.
So Paul stands. Well, no, he doesn't pull his face mask down yet.
No.
So we get to see Gurney's face, and he's still fucking confused as hell. His furrowed brow does not really leave him until about halfway through the minute. And Paul like backs off of him and offers a hand for him to pick him up, help him stand up.
And the rest of the Fedaykin are just booking it past him to like go kill all the other people.
Right. And once Gurney's on his feet, he like takes a few steps back, and he's still super confused. And you can't really see his face, but I'm assuming the brow has only become more furrowed at this point.
Well, I mean, how can you be a rolling ugly man without just a completely furrowed brow?
Right. And we get a shot of a Fremen in the background doing some parkour moves that we've seen before. They seem to be they like these like leg sweeping attacks.
They like the leg sweeping attack. They like the like spider monkey onto the shoulder to then like suplex people down onto the ground kind of thing. Yeah, it's a lot of the same motions that we saw in minutes 30 through 40 when we saw our first attack on the spice harvester and everything. Right. So almost certainly the same stunt people.
And I'm not calling them like one note bands or anything.
No,
like that.
I mean, look, if it works, it works, right?
It works. Exactly.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Exactly.
So
keep it simple, stupid.
So back to Gurney, and he's still staring at Paul. And Paul glances over and raises his arms and tells all the other Fremen to stop the attack.
That's what I would assume. We don't have a direct translation.
Yeah, but he like raises his arms up, and he says something in Chicopsa, and they all stop. So probably a halt or something like that.
Hey, don't kill everyone.
Yeah. So at this moment, like Gurney takes a big leap here.
Yeah.
And he just takes his helmet off.
Well, I mean, he's no longer being attacked. At least immediately. Yeah. And he still has his sword in his hand.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not completely defenseless. Is he probably going to die if, Paul wasn't Paul and was just a Fedaykin that was fucking with him? Yeah.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just, I don't know. I didn't fully understand why Gurney took his helmet off immediately after getting, I guess helped up. So there's a little bit of trust that has been ingrained, or some kind of goodwill at least that has been extended between Paul and him.
So to me, that indicates that he did hear what Paul said.
Maybe.
We'll never know.
Yeah, maybe so. Let us know. What do you think? Did Gurney hear Paul or not? Let us know. But as soon as he takes his helmet off, Paul lowers his face covering and mask and just gives a big smile.
You young pup.
Yeah.
You young pup.
And I love it. Tears in my eyes, man. This is a very touching moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gurney thought a child that he also kind of saw, not as his son, but as a... I mean, let's be... All right.
I would say, yeah, as a
Gurney,
son.
Well, I was going to say, like, Leto was Gurney's best friend, without a doubt, right? And, he would consider Paul probably a nephew. Maybe not a son, but, like, definitely someone that he has spent a lot of time influencing and, being a, additional role model too. Mm-hmm. So, like, to see that person suddenly come back into your life after you thought they were dead for months. Yeah. That's a pretty standard emotional reaction to have, I think.
Yeah.
Especially for someone as grizzled and gruff as Gurney Halleck.
He's a warrior poet. So they give a very overdue embrace, and they're laughing here. So this is a wonderful reunion of Paul and Gurney.
Yeah. Before we cut away from all of this, I went back to part 1, to the sparring scene between Paul and Gurney, just to see if there were any similarities in terms of, like, the blocking and placement from that fight.
Should be opposite, right? They're on opposite sides of the screen. I think Gurney mostly is on the left side of the screen. And
You got
what? I'm right, aren't I?
No. I'm talking about with like where we left off with how Paul kicked Gurney out kicked Gurney's legs out from under him and stuff like that. It is different, but it's still the same. Like I have you pose, except this time Gurney's sword is too long for him to have it curved up to Paul's belly. And Paul doesn't have two knives; he only has one, but he still has one pointed, directly at the throat. So
Interesting.
but otherwise, like their positioning and everything is the same. Where like Paul has a knee down on one of Gurney's legs and is like,
Just like a pin, pin move kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Little details.
And this movie is known for them. So I have a couple of those scattered throughout the rest of the week, too.
All right.
So we cut to camp at this point. So after the hug, we cut back over to the camp, and Gurney explains basically his side of the first half of the movie. Where he was, what he was doing.
The second half, I would say.
We're in the second half of the movie.
Okay.
Paul's the prescient one, not Gurney. No, he's explaining where he has been this whole time.
Yeah.
He was able to, and I thought it was really interesting that he was able to get some survivors back to Caladan. That was really a cool thing. A little bit of a departure from the books, and I'm just going to sprinkle book notes in as we go.
Yeah. My art and soul notes are going to be sprinkled in throughout this and next week. So there's not a lot, but.
It is canonical from the books that there are more Atreides survive and join the smuggling troop. But Gurney in the books goes on to explain that basically once they raised enough money from smuggling spice to leave, they just left. Yeah. So there's very few of original Atreides left on planet. So two different paths to get to the same point. I think it was the movie does a good job of kind of portraying Gurney as this, oh, my men will always come first kind of person, whereas the book is more like once the attack happens and they're scattered, it's really just every man for himself.
Good luck, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so like the whole smuggling people back to Caladan thing led to a couple questions that I think, as a thought experiment might be worth, talking about for a little bit. So at this point, Hasimir Fenring is still in charge of Caladan. Like, that's still his whole thing. And you would think that if some survivors from Arrakis made it to Caladan, the peasants on the planet would have started, like, they would have tried to be sneaky about it and, like, keep it under wraps and everything. But, rumor and whispers do get out. So, like, what position does that leave Hasimir in? Is he, just like, okay, well, they're back for whatever reason, and does he play dumb, or does he, like, act on his best friend's initial desires to, like, get rid of any surviving warriors of the Atreides clan?
I would counter this with how deep do you think the average Atreides soldier's understanding of what happened goes? How deep do you think that? Because in their minds, and especially in the books, the Sardaukar were wearing Harkonnen uniforms.
True.
So they don't know that the Sardaukar were involved.
But we're talking about the movie here. So
yeah, okay, fair.
But then again, if we're talking about the movie, Hasimir Fenring doesn't exist, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from a book standpoint, I think the average soldier would just know the Harkonnens attacked.
The average soldier would know the Harkonnens attacked and killed everyone.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the story that is, they're fine with portraying.
Yeah.
The part that they don't want out is the Sardaukar involved and the Emperor's involvement and all that stuff. So, I don't think it would be an issue unless a particular soldier made it back to Caladan and was like, and I saw the fucking tattoos, then they were Sardaukar, and he see all this kind of stuff. Then that would be a problem.
Yeah.
That would be a conspiracy theorist who just disappears in the night.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So as Gurney is explaining this, we get a shot of the smugglers sitting at kind of on one side of the camp.
Bro, and they're terrified.
They're terrified,
And
They're
rightly so. They all
confused as fuck.
just stared death down
Yeah,
because there was no way that they were going to be able to fight back against the Fremen.
yeah.
So,
And yeah, this is a group of people who their job is a regular occurrence in their smuggling job that they are going to be ambushed and killed by the Fremen.
yep.
And here they are having basically dinner with them.
Yeah,
And their gross ass coffee service, I'm sure it played a part.
coffee service and the Arakeen Slim Jims.
Yeah, exactly. Something that was cut out of the story here was a little bit of the interaction before we cut back to camp in the books, basically. So there's more conversation that happens between Gurney and Paul.
Yeah.
Or pretty much this conversation that we're seeing now happens in the initial meeting out in the desert by the destroyed crawlers and all that stuff.
Got it.
Which
So
makes sense because this is a thing that movies always do. They have like the first fourth of a conversation in one place, and then an unknown amount of time passes. They're in a second place, and they just pick right back up on the conversation that they were having an untold amount of time earlier.
I think it makes sense for the movie at least to like move the conversation away from the action.
Sure, but
that's
not how real life works.
No, I don't disagree with that.
It's a weird thing that I always notice in movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has a name or if it has like like there's a reason for the practice, but just to move to a second or third or different location or whatever.
A secondary location?
Yeah.
I ain't going to no secondary location.
Society
see what it is Paul didn't have enough bandwidth, so he had to table the conversation, and he asked Gurney to circle back on it later on when both of them had enough cycles to, discuss changes in the Enterprise.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So this conversation is still going on out in the desert, and Paul, as Gurney is talking, Gurney just whips out the battle language, the hand signals.
Yeah.
And he basically tells Paul, hey, there are some people in my troop that are the smugglers that should not be trusted. And we get this whole storyline of, there's actually a Sardaukar like spy in the smugglers who was secretly looking for Paul with them. And is that something that we get later in the movie?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, that thread is not in this movie at all.
I really wish they would
thing
have put that in the movie.
What?
I really, really wish they would have put that in the movie because it was such a good, like catching Gurney up to speed on what all's been going on moment, but also showing how Paul has become like a true leader, and to say how fucking scared the Imperium is of him.
Yeah. So, the Dune sci-fi miniseries has that whole thread line.
Yep.
So, I'll be excited to talk about that when we talk about that.
So this conversation between Gurney and Paul continues. He did not go himself because he wanted revenge on the Harkonnens, which makes perfect sense if you remember that Gurney spent a good portion of his life inside the Harkonnen slave pits.
Yep.
He is just...
Well,
this is the second or third or fourth or however many times that the Harkonnens have fucked up his life.
Well, it's now not only revenge for his sister, but revenge for his Duke and for his comrades and, as far as he knows up until now, for Paul and for Jessica and for Duncan and...
Yeah, exactly.
Duncan.
So he's got every right to want to do whatever he can to hurt the Harkonnens.
Yeah, he
already had every right.
Well, this is now the single goal of his life is to just fuck up House Harkonnen.
Yep.
And we're going to see how that single track mindedness is going to like really start to fuck with Paul here.
Yeah.
So
I love the shot of Chani and Shishkali kind of sitting around the corner.
They're back to who the fuck is this guy mode.
And that's kind of, we're not going to see a lot of Shishkali in the next week or two. We'll see her.
We'll have a brief conversation with her this week.
Yeah, we'll see her in one episode this week, and then she kind of fades away again. Because that is her role in the movie, is just to be Chani's sounding board.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep.
But the look of apprehension and concern and trepidation never leaves Chani's face. I don't think until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I think we kind of get this mode of her, and we're going to stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. We're back to Chani is suspicious of everyone.
Yep.
Again.
Yep. Do you have the last little bit of dialogue?
I do.
Cool. Will you read that as they read it in the movie?
Why do you stay? I wanted blood. And Paul says, Raban's head.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And Gurney says, mm-hmm. And that just more and more leads me into Deez's theory that Vladimir Harkonnen deliberately mispronounces Rabin's name just to
So is that what you're
stab
doing?
at him.
That you're just deliberately mispronouncing it at this point?
Well, no, it's just in my head as Rabin.
Okay, fair enough.
Rabin.
My arms went up in celebration when I heard Paul say this as Raban, because I was like, fucking, I knew it. It's right. I was right. Vindication. So, yes, we get up to end the minute.
Yeah. Dude, it's we talked about it last week, but it's so good to have Josh Brolin back in the movie.
Yeah, it is. He's been
a great actor.
Yes, he is. It just makes me want to go back and watch No Country for Old Men and
I
all
watched
the other.
that yesterday.
Yep. Just all the other fun Josh Brolin movies that are out there.
Goonies, bro.
Hell yeah! Goonies. All right. Well, like I said, I'm just going to be sprinkling in book notes as we go along because the events of the movie that we get over the next week, basically 2 weeks, do not play out like they do in the books. There's some rhyming that goes on between them.
Yep.
But we are firmly in movie territory here.
All right.
So, I'll sprinkle in stuff as I can.
The only art and soul note that I have for this week, I think, is for this week is that I talked about this a little bit on last week's episode, but the whole idea of utilizing cloth to help keep yourself camouflaged in the desert for the Fremen. We see that again with how they're sitting in this cave, and then the tent cloth that they have up on the edge of the rock that's over them kind of goes out to make it look like one continuous piece of rock flat.
That makes sense.
In Art and Soul, there's a lot more concept art that shows it from the outside perspective, but you can still see it a little bit as the camera's shifting between Paul and Gurney and Chani and everything. So basically the idea is the Fremen would move across the desert, and then when they're ready to, set up camp and they're not in a low spot between dunes where they have their tents, they can just deploy this quick cloth, and then from an ornithopter perspective, it looks like just a flat rock face.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Field camouflage. It works.
Exactly.
Who'd have thought? But I think that's going to do it for this episode. So let's say we just wrap it up and then come back tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, as always, you can find the Dune Minute online. We are on Blue Sky at duneminute.com, and you can email duneminute@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch with us that way. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode, and we'll see you then.
See ya.